Welcome to NEXTGames Omen series. This video covering the solo of Jhin using Red Mage. Now first I have to apologize for my voice. It seems I've caught a cold and I'm working through it, but I did want to at least try and keep the videos coming. Now after soloing many of them on Ninja, I wanted to take on the Omen bosses with some other jobs, so I figured today, let's go ahead and give Jhin a try on Red Mage. I went in with a very specific strategy and it worked great. However, there is definitely some room for improvement here on future runs with what we learned from this one. Now let's go ahead and start our run while I explain the details of what you're to expect when soloing Jhin, especially on Red Mage. Now first off, you will notice that there is no tank trust that I'm using. I'm actually tanking on Red Mage. I did this as I wanted to keep my trust out of the range of Jin's AoEs, and that is just too difficult to accomplish with a tank trust. I'm also not using the tried and true Cephas to continually restore HP, MP, and TP to the party, as he will often make light skill chains when I don't close them, and we do not want that happening on this particular NM. More on that in a minute. I'm also using Joaquin and Omia for marches. Now the reason I'm using two bards is neither of them appears very good on Red Mage at prioritizing marches, so I was hopeful that with using two of them I would be haste capped for the duration of the run. Sadly, I still had many instances in the run where I needed to use my max dual wield set, as none of my 4 songs were marches. Lastly, we are using Yoran Oran, Yignis, and Monborough for cures. Now I want to be very clear here, you don't need 2 bards, you don't need 3 white mages to make this happen. I just think it's a good idea to kind of stack up on the jobs you use, as the trust are quite vulnerable during these boss runs and can quite easily die, especially during that last 25%. So by doubling up on your jobs, you make it so that if one of the trusts dies, you still have another one able to accomplish that role. Now in regards to the fight itself, the main thing you need to do is focus on accuracy and magic evasion. Accuracy needs to be over 1400 and magic evasion needs to be very high. I suggest a full malignant set. This will make your Red Mage pretty indestructible in this run, and now all you really need to do is focus on damage, which is really the challenge here, so let's get into that. The main trick with Jhin is after you perform a skill chain, a magic absorption shield will go up, which will absorb all magic damage for a short period of time. Now with Ninja, we chose to deal with this mechanic by simply not magic bursting, therefore we wouldn't cure him, and it was fine. But on Red Mage, we're using end spell damage for a significant portion of our damage, and you can quickly cure him for more than the weapon skill and skill chain if you remain facing him while his shield is up. Therefore, I have 2 recommendations of how to deal with this when you're on Red Mage and using end spell damage. The first is to skill chain and immediately turn right after that second CDC lands. In doing so, you will need to wait about 4 seconds for that shield to go down, and then you can turn back around again and do another skill chain. During this period of time, use it to get up buffs and shadows. Now another option you can do is if you don't want to deal with the turning around mechanic, you can also just not use end spell damage at all and focus purely on weapon skill and skill chain damage. This will take a little bit longer of your run, but it will also make it a more safer run as you won't have to continually turn, so you just have to determine which one of these is best for you. You can actually employ both tactics in the same run, as I suggest keeping end spell damage on during certain phases and not others. Let's go into that. Now at the start of the fight, you do want to have end spell damage up in my opinion, and do back-to-back CDCs for light skill chains over and over again, while making sure to turn your back as you skill chain. Do this until you've gotten him to 75% hit points, and he should use 0 Hour, which will be a hate reset ability. Now you must quickly cure yourself whenever he uses 0 Hour, before your trust cure you so that you can get that hate, and then additionally you want to weapon skill to try and further cement your damage. After getting damage back and hate back, you want to determine if his shield has changed. The way you can do this is by doing the following test. First, just go ahead and do another light skill chain. Did he absorb it? If not, you want to keep doing light skill chains as that's the most effective way to get damage in here. However, if he did absorb it, you now want to try a dark skill chain, so do CDC followed by Requisite. If this also cures him, that means all skill chains are going to cure him, and what you're going to want to do is simply use weapon skills outside of the skill chain windows to make sure you don't give any skill chain damage. Now when you're in this mode where all skill chains will cure him, this is especially when I think you should put end spell damage up, as you need every little bit to get through that period of time when you can't be skill chaining, as that's going to be the slowest part of this run. Now in regards to Enfeebles, I was surprised just how poorly mine were sticking. I was unable to get really anything to stick with the exception of Frazzle at the start with the help of Stymie. I also was able to get Inundation to work to increase the skill chain damage, and I suggest you do the same. Dia stuck once or twice, but other than that I really couldn't get anything else to land, and I have a pretty solid magic accuracy setup, so be warned that you probably won't be sticking too many Enfeebles during this run. Now, if all of this isn't enough, there is one more thing that you need to contend with: hate control. Not just after the 0 hours, but during the entire run, especially during that last 25%. When he's in light skill chain mode at that start, it's actually pretty easy to keep hate on him. However, under 25% when he's doing so much AoE damage, I found it exceptionally difficult and frustrating to keep hate. Truthfully, it was one of the hardest parts of the run for me, as it causes him to just kind of go everywhere and hit everyone with AoE damage, which of course just causes more hate control issues as your trusts try and keep everyone alive. Now, part of me just wants to go Warrior Sub-Job next time for Provoke, so I don't actually have to deal with all these hate issues. As you can see, it gets quite maddening under 25%, especially under 10%. Now, you want to try your best to get a skill chain in during these periods of time to try and cement your hate, but unfortunately, he just keeps wanting to move away during that TP window, making it very difficult to get a complete skill chain in. Just stick with it though and hang in there and get your damage in when you can, and you should be able to finish up the run. Just remember that the last part is definitely the most challenging. Okay, I'll go ahead and be quiet now and see how the rest of this run goes. Enjoy it, everyone, and enjoy that last 10%. It gets especially tricky. That's going to be it for how to take on Jin with Red Mage solo. I hope you found that helpful. Look for additional entries into the Omen series in the future, covering additional jobs and bosses. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Happy holidays. Stay safe and stay healthy out there.